Thank you very much, Anthony. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Roger Bailey, Asset Management Director for Tideway. Um, our vision is to reconnect London with the River Thames, and I'm here to talk to you about some of the innovative things we've done in getting our project off the ground and running. So we started back in, oh, what's happening there? Oh. We started back in 1st of September 2015. That was when we came into being as a new water company. The project was promoted by Thames Water, and we came out of Thames Water 1st of September 2015 as a new UK regulated water company, independent and ready to deliver this project. Why do we need the Thames Tideway Tunnel? Well, the 19th century sewer system of London is no longer able to cope. It's in great condition, but when there's as little as 2 millimeters of rain, the system overflows into the Thames, as it was designed to do. And that meant that back in 2014, if you remember, a lot of rainfall fell this time of the year back then. 62 million tons of raw sewage went into the Thames, with obviously harmful effects to the environment, health, ecology, litter, etc. So what is the solution? The solution, and apologies for those of you who can't quite see that, but this is I'll point it out to you in a second. There are solutions in three parts. Firstly, it's the upgrading of 5 large sewage treatment works, 1 in the west and 4 over in the east, which service London, including Beckton and Crossness, the 2 biggest ones. The next thing is the Lee Tunnel, which you can see is the purple project here, opened by Boris Johnson last month. That picks up one of the worst offenders in terms of CSO, combined sewer overflows at Abbey Mills, just south of the Olympic Park. And that means that the Lee Tunnel is now clean of sewage for the first time in, I think, 150 years. So long may that last. The final piece of the jigsaw is our project, which is a 25-kilometre tunnel from Acton in the west through to Abbey Mills, connecting to the back of the Lee Tunnel with a 5-metre connection tunnel here from Greenwich and a couple of other smaller tunnels to connect up other pieces of the network. It's 30 to 70 metres deep. It's probably, with the Lee Tunnel, the deepest tunnel in London. It's going to be delivered for us by 3 large construction consortia who are now starting work out there. So if you've been along the river recently, you'll see our jack-up barges at Blackfriars. You'll start to see things happening at Kirtling Street down at Battersea and Chambers Wharf and at Carnworth Road in Fulham as we get going. So what's our approach to innovation? Well, I think there's 2 really. Firstly, we've striven to always create the right collaborative environment, right from the very word go in the early stages of our planning consultation. And we've also sought to take the lead as an informed client. So rather than live with what the supply chain has got as a general standard, we've decided we want to set as high a standard as we possibly can and take the lead in a number of areas. So on the planning side, a bit of competition there. Turn up the volume at the back. But on the planning side, there's a lot of innovative hydraulic design and modelling that we did to prove what we were doing, what we were going to do was correct, and we pushed back the boundaries in many areas there. Our consultation in the process leading up to the planning application was seen as exemplary. We never turned down a single request for a meeting with anybody, and we had something over 300 public meetings and 30 months of consultation. On the procurement side, we started very early market engagement with our contractors, or the contracting fraternity. We took their advice on how to package the work up, how to split the work between what we would do and what Thames Water would do as a share, because we will deliver 3.1 billion of the 4.2 billion cost of this project, and Thames Water deliver the other 1.1. So there's a share of certain works and costs, and that was important to get that right. We also, within the procurement of the contractors, put a lot of store by behavioural assessment. We looked at what they wrote to us, and then we checked that out in 16 days of intense activity with all the bidders on all the 3 contracts, up in the in Buckinghamshire, where we made sure that the people who were going to deliver the job were saying the same things as what they said in their written submissions, and that was very useful. A lot of things from there have proven excellent to start a very good relationship with them going forward into delivery. On financing, the government has provided what's called a government support package, which is effectively insurer of last resort. We pay for that privilege, it's a cost. It's not coming free from the taxpayer, but it does enable the government to step in the event of the project getting into serious difficulties beyond the capability of the shareholders, and the government can come in. And that government support package, in the same way, if those of you remember how John Prescott saved the Channel Tunnel rail link back in 1997, has significantly reduced the cost of borrowing for our consortia because of the reduced risk. And you'll see the benefits of that in a second. So in delivery, we aim to have a transformational health and safety approach. We've taken a lot of steps to ensure that happens by insisting upon, for example, a maximum 10-hour shift for our workers, which is I think we're the first client in tunnelling in the UK to do that. That's innovation. We have an alliance overlay on top of our NEC3 contract, which makes sure that there's incentives for all of our contractors to sort of play together. There's no point if one contract finishes ahead of time if the others don't as well. And we're going to be engaging in significant academic engagement with the academic fraternity. And on innovation, we see sort of three distinct areas of how we're going to attack it. One is incremental, business as usual, if you like. The sort of way that got Sky into that position as on cycling through, 1% here, 1% there, 1% here, and the next one you're 20% better. So that's one aspect, day-to-day stuff, and engage the early career professionals on our business in that across our project. The other thing is the big bang. What can we do boldly and creatively? And we've probably got about 9 months to come up with that before the window closes, and we're into just getting on with it properly. The only other big bang may come if something seriously goes wrong and we have to innovate ourselves out of a hole, which we're hoping we won't have to do. And the third thing is what I call a Tideway laboratory. We've got £2 billion worth of construction here. We're here for 6 years. We want people who've got ideas that they want to test out, academics or anybody else for that matter, to come to us and give us a proposition, and then we can use our project to help sort problems out for not necessarily for us in the short term or even the long term, but for the industry as a whole. So we're very much open to that, and that's what will drive our academic engagement. An example of this is on the river. We're on the river. We are using of our 8 million tons of material in and out on the project. 5 million will go by river. All our sites pretty much are on the river, but that movement is a problem if we didn't do anything in the market, because there are something like 12 freight movements a day. If you were at Wapping or down here looking across the river, when we come along, there are 32 freight movements per day. Same time, passenger traffic is going up, etc. So we are concerned about the quality and the safety of the whole river logistics. So what we've done is invested significant amount of money in writing a code of practice for river operations, raising the bar significantly compared to what's actually out there now, and coming in with writing classroom materials so our contractors can train to that standard, so making it easy for them. A train the trainer course so that the training is done properly by people who are absolutely the right people. And then finally, at the end of all that process, and even if you've got all the qualifications, you'll go up to Wallingford, to the HR Wallingford. This is in the ship simulator, HR Wallingford. This is our chief exec, Andy Mitchell, getting tested out a few weeks ago. And this is a state-of-the-art simulator that can be used to simulate the river as we change it with all of our river works, plus as the river grows and as more freight comes onto it. So everybody will have to be validated and demonstrate their skills, whether you've just got all the requisite qualifications or you've been on the river for 25 years. And we hope that this will end up being a legacy that will be taken on by other river users going forward, and actually dramatically increase the whole validity and robustness of training validation on the Thames. How many of you are Thames water bill players? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Well, you guys are funding this project, so thank you. And you'll be pleased to know that the £80 or so bill that was originally mooted before we started all our good stuff has now reduced to the price of a curry. So it's a very good value proposition for cleaning up the River Thames and getting ourselves back connected to the river. This is what Blackfriars almost looks like now, because this is a slightly out of date, but this is looking downstream at Blackfriars Pier. When we come along, our construction works is this, a big shaft down to the main tunnel, some culverts linking up to the old sewers and the old Fleet River in the top, and trying to avoid the Waterloo and City line, which is about 3 meters or 5 meters below our culvert there. When we finish doing all that, that's what we leave behind. A new piece of London. In fact, there's about 11 acres of new London that we will leave behind in the river. It's very important to us. That's what people will remember of the Thames Tideway Tunnel. All the sewage going through underneath will hopefully be forgotten about. The odours will be very non-existent, and so it will be hidden away. That's what we'll see. And we hope then that at the end of the project, that not only will people have reconnected with the river through all of the freight and the rejuvenation, but also they've got some new public realm to enjoy, perhaps an improved access in certain places to a clean river. And there we will be reconnecting London to the river. Now the PLA have kittens when they see this particular picture, but maybe some of these things will be possible once we've cleaned up the river and got our construction kit out of the way. So thank you very much, and in keeping with our strategic target schedule, I should be 20% ahead of schedule now.
Let's not go into that, Roger. Round of applause, Roger. Can I just say though, I did joke about the fact that it used to be called the Thames Tideway Tunnel, but it is all about this reconnecting with the river. And I suppose one of the things which strikes me as being innovative is the fact that you are thinking about how a tunnel impacts the surface.
Yeah.
Now, I suppose, how are you going to make sure that on a project this scale, all that kind of good work here doesn't get value engineered out? So the previous slide looked very good, but how are you going to make sure that doesn't get value engineered out and dumbed down?
Great question. Most of the public realm is either in our development consent order, our planning permission is defined as either illustrative or indicative. And that is an agreement that we've made legally. So the illustrative, this is an illustrative example here. We have a problem changing that, a big problem. We'd have to go back into planning. So if we got somebody coming forward who wanted to change that for the better, great. But actually, legally, we've got to deliver something very similar to that.
Well, the reason I asked is because Roger Hawkins was here yesterday, and he's working on Crossrail, and he's your architect. Hawkins Brown is your architect on this, and he was, he made the point that on Crossrail it has been value engineered, and it is very difficult to get what he wants. So that is it's in stone.
Yeah.
The other thing is around BIM, the use of BIM. Andy Mitchell constantly tells me that there's no point in you getting involved in BIM because you're just building a dumb tunnel. Why are you not embracing BIM in perhaps the way that these guys here have been urging you to?
Well, I think we are. We are going to be level 2 compliant, because although we're not a public sector, we're almost public sector, we have government involvement. So we are going to be BIM level 2 compliant, and our contractors are producing BIM models, and the whole will be in accordance with that, and the fact that in the future, most of the maintenance of the near-ground structures will be done by Thames Water, and this will be in accordance. They will get the BIM model for that, and they will use that for their ongoing maintenance. You're quite right. Tideway, post-acceptance, which is about 3 years after handover, so 2025 or thereabouts, we hand over the clever piece of near-ground stuff, and we are left with a shaft and a tunnel. There isn't that much that you need a BIM model for down there.
Okay, discuss. The final thing is you've got this laboratory ideas to test. What do these folks do to get in touch with you to test their ideas on you?
Roger.bailey@tideway.london.
Thank you very much, Roger. Thanks, Roger Bailey. Right.